Every Japanese brand in Australia is collapsing. Nissan down 44.7%, Mitsubishi down 30.6%, Subaru down 32.6%, Suzuki down 32.5%, except two. Honda is up 7.6%, the only Japanese passenger car brand in positive territory in Australia. And the Isuzu MU-X SUV is up 61.6%, one of the sharpest single-model growth figures in the entire Australian market in 2026. Same market, same wave of Chinese brands taking share. Same regulatory pressure from NVES, completely different result. This video explains exactly why those two are growing while the rest of Japan's car brands collapse in Australia, and what it means if you are considering buying one. Before we cover each brand, the mechanism, because once you understand it, every number in this video falls into place. The Australian car market in 2026 is sorting brands into two groups. The brands that made an early, committed decision to go hybrid heavy are holding or growing. The brands that stayed petrol heavy, that could not meet EB safety regulations, that discontinued models without confirmed replacements, or that ran into supply crises, those are the ones falling. Honda's growth and the Isuzu MU-X's growth come from two completely different versions of this sorting mechanism, and understanding them separately gives you a clearer picture of what the Australian car market is actually rewarding right now. Brand 1. Honda. Up 7.6%, and their CEO has gone on record predicting another 10% growth in 2026, following approximately 10% growth in 2025. Honda Australia's CEO Jay Joseph told Care Expert directly, more broadly, Honda Australia is expecting 10% sales growth in 2026, following around 10% growth in 2025, largely off the back of the updated CR-V and ZR-V. That is not hedged corporate language. It is a specific, named forecast from the top of Honda Australia's leadership, built on a specific product strategy that is already delivering results. The strategy is straightforward, and it mirrors what every winning brand in this market has done. Honda made a deliberate, early decision to go hybrid heavy in Australia, not EV first, not petrol staying, but hybrid as the transitional technology Australian drivers are most comfortable with right now. Honda Australia's automotive boss Rob Thorpe said it plainly to Carsales, consumers will still want hybrids en masse. And that is where the market is going to be over the next 12 to 18 months. ICE is declining, all the growth is in hybrid technology. The evidence is in the product decisions Honda has made for Australia in 2026. The updated CR-V range, which arrived in the first quarter of 2026, dropped the entry-level hybrid price by $7,000 compared to 2025, down to $49,990. That is not a small adjustment. $7,000 off the hybrid entry point on your best-selling model is an aggressive signal that you are prioritizing volume and market penetration over margin protection. And Honda added an Ord hybrid CR-V variant to the Australian lineup for the first time ever, addressing the single most consistent buyer complaint about the previous CR-V hybrid. Honda expects 90% of its total Australian sales to be hybrids by mid-2026, from 53% currently. That shift, executed across 12 months, while also adding new models, the returning Prelude in mid-2026 as a hybrid coupe, and Honda's first EV arriving in the second half of 2026, is the most comprehensive product expansion Honda Australia has executed in years. Cars Guide described the brand as hitting the boost button after years of treading water. For buyers, the 2026 Honda CR-V eHEV is the most competitive it has been against the Toyota RAV4 hybrid in price and specification. The new Ord hybrid variant directly closes the gap that has historically sent CR-V intenders to the RAV4 for all-wheel drive capability. Honda's NV's position is on the credit side of the ledger, a hybrid heavy lineup that earns regulatory currency rather than incurring penalties, and a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty with 8 years of premium roadside assist. This channel tracks what is moving in the Australian car market before most buyers find out. Subscribe now. Every video we publish could save you thousands of dollars. Brand 2. Isuzu, and specifically the MU-X, because it is important to be precise here. Isuzu's overall performance in Australia in 2026 includes the D-Max Ute, which is facing genuine competitive pressure from the Bide 6 and the broader electrified Ute wave we have covered in detail on this channel. The D-Max is not the growth story. The MU-X is up 61.6%. The Isuzu MU-X's growth is a completely different mechanism from Honda's. Honda is growing because of deliberate strategic decisions, the hybrid pivot, the price cuts, the new variants. The MU-X is growing primarily because of a competitor vacuum that opened up in its specific segment, and because the MU-X was positioned and available to fill it. The segment the MU-X competes in is the large body on-frame 7-seat SUV. Not a soft roader, not a crossover. A genuine ladder frame vehicle with serious off-road capability and 7 seats for families who need real ground clearance on real Australian terrain. In 2025 and early 2026, 2 of the MU-X's most direct competitors either disappeared or became difficult to source. The Mitsubishi Pajero Sport was axed from Australia in January 2025 gone. No direct replacement. The Toyota Land Cruiser Prado, newly launched in its current generation, has faced significant supply constraints that left dealers with waiting lists and buyers looking for alternatives that were actually available. The MU-X was available. It had stock. It had competitive pricing. And it offered exactly the specification that buyers of the Pajero Sport and Weight listed Prado buyers needed: genuine off-road capability, 7 seats, and a dealer network that could actually deliver the car. 61.6% growth is the result of a genuine product filling a genuine gap in the market, created by a competitor's exit and another competitor's supply constraints. For buyers considering the MU-X, the growth story is reassuring. For resale, a vehicle whose segment position has strengthened rather than weakened in the last 18 months is a vehicle in a stronger used market position than it was 2 years ago. Isuzu's dealer and service network is specifically strong in regional and rural Australia, which is precisely where this vehicle's target buyer tends to live and work. The D-Max platform it shares has a long track record in Australian conditions, and at a price point competitive with the Prado and significantly below Land Cruiser territory, it offers genuine capability for families who need it. Honda and the Isuzu MU-X are growing for different reasons, but they share one thing: that every declining Japanese brand in Australia is currently missing a clear, specific reason for their target buyer to choose them over the alternatives available right now. Honda's reason: a hybrid Kia V at the most accessible price it has ever been in Australia, with Ord finally available on the hybrid variant. From a brand whose CEO is publicly committing to growth and backing it with 7 new hybrid model grades. The MU-X's reason: the only large body on frame 7-seat SUV you can actually drive home this week, at a price below a Prado Weight listed at a Toyota dealer, with genuine off-road credentials and an Isuzu dealer in your region who has serviced these vehicles for decades. Nissan, Mitsubishi, Subaru, and Suzuki are all missing their clear reason. Their models are discontinued, supply constrained, transitioning to new generations, or simply failing to differentiate themselves in a market where Chinese alternatives offer more for less at the entry level and Toyota dominates at the value retention end. The absence of a clear, specific reason to choose a brand is what creates the 30 and 40% declines we have covered in detail. Honda and Isuzu MU-X have the reason. That is why they are growing. Subscribe now. Every week we track who is winning and who is losing in the Australian car market, and why.